Okay, so we are at the new place. Daddy is outside with the movers. He's on his way. Mahrya is running rampant. This is gonna be my office. Temporarily, Mahrya's playpen until we get everything moved in correctly. We out here. Say bye-bye. No? Say hello?
Hello.
Can you do it? Yeah, there you go. Hey there art friends, happy 2026 and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Lamda Mahrya. I'm a multidisciplinary artist who's just arrived in Tempe, Arizona. This one will be a little bit longer and kind of vloggy as I share the past 3 months of my life and the setting up of my brand new art studio. So pick up your favorite craft and watch along, or take a stab at organizing your own space while I try and figure out what's going on with mine. Now, Halloween is a very well celebrated holiday in our family, so when Omi's grandma came for a visit, we decided to take her up north for some scenic views and some light hiking, and definitely had to take her to see the haunted town of Jerome in northern Arizona. Longtime subscribers might remember that we moved to the Phoenix area from Chicago back in 2020, so anytime we get to spend with family is a great time. Now, my favorite part of our little 3-day trip was the town of Tlaquepaque. It's actually a little shopping district in Sedona made to resemble a traditional Mexican town, and we arrived just in time for their Day of the Dead celebration. Every corner of these cobblestone paths were filled with beautiful floral arrangements and altars, and the handcrafted ceramics, gifts, and trinkets were so inspiring. And the most unexpected treat, an all-female live mariachi band. This place was such a wealth of vibrancy and creativity, and it really just helped to fill my cup. And I'm really grateful that we kind of changed our plans around to come and see it. In fact, you won't have to try too hard to hear me singing along with the band. After that, I couldn't resist one more scenic hike.
You want to climb on top of this log?
Being engulfed in all of this serene, gorgeous nature is just what I needed.
What's he doing?
Before getting back to work.
He's not gonna fall, baby. You gotta help him. Give me your hand.
Okay, she definitely needs a haircut. There were some things going on there. That's okay. Let's see what there is to see around here. We got random stuff that I've been going in and out of for the past 2 weeks. Shelves, boxes, printer, totes, a ladder, too many tables, pegboard for tools, collection of glass, more glass, some more glass, another table, this table, that table, a table over there, too many tables, more boxes of stuff, rocks that I got from Sedona, too many rocks from Sedona. Yeah, so I don't know, I think I'll just put you up somewhere and maybe put on a time lapse and see if I can't figure out what I'm doing. Wish me luck. Hopefully I don't injure myself, which I'll probably do. Okay. So I should probably take a moment to apologize for the poor audio quality of this video. I called myself trying to upgrade by getting a mic from the TikTok shop, and I honestly can't tell if it's better or worse, so you guys be the judge. The last time I edited a video was back with Midnight Poppy, and yeah, I'm rusty, but I'm trying to give myself some grace. And speaking of giving myself grace, putting this desk together was like a lesson in
being kind to myself because I did not have the manual and I took it apart to make it easier for moving, but whew, it was stressful. You can't tell when it's time lapse, but man.
Oh, as a side note, everything that I took out of my office is now in my hallway. So yeah, again, if you're doing this and you're setting up an art studio for yourself, it's a process. It's gonna look worse before it looks any better. Yeah, take your time and take some painkillers. Protect your knees.
Okay. So, I filmed kind of an outro, but it was a little on the ゚Video side because I didn't feel like I did much in here. But I really only emptied like 2 boxes and it's feeling a little low because it's late in the day and I didn't feel like I got much done. But my husband came in and he was like, wow, you did so much. You can actually walk in here and you built that table and you set up those other tables and look at all your storage. So feeling pretty good about where I'm landing today. Yeah, I'll walk you through the plans. First things first is going to be my self-care altar, where I meditate and do all of my stuff. This will also be where like I do my makeup and I'll store some jewelry and stuff in here. This little corner is going to be wood scrap storage. Right now Poppy is in the corner. I still have my filming equipment inside the box. That painting that I did for my bathroom. On the opposite corner on the floor, there's some yarn and some things that I'm crocheting, and then some jackets that I would eventually like to paint. Just a little bit of fabric and some random stuff. I believe it's more books and art. Then I have books up top, books up top. This section is going to be more storage and display, and I'm hoping to put in another shelf above the mirror so I can have more display area and not just storage. Let's see, this corner, once I get all of these glass things put where they're gonna go and kind of be in decorative spots in the house and used as vessels for different random things, I would like to turn this into like a little reading nook, with maybe a little ottoman or something to help Omi get up so we can like sit and read sometimes. Then this will be my painting station for like watercolor and acrylic and whatever I'm painting. This is an easel top desk, so it'll flip up like that. I've got it on the highest setting right now, so it actually fits this rolling cart underneath. I've got the 2 IKEA drawers on either side and the stool, and it even has drawers underneath it, which are currently filled with tools so I can keep building things. Then I have the flexi spot desk, which rises and lowers, and you'll notice I have everything set pretty high and level. I don't know what this measurement is, but I've got 3 folding tables stacked on top of each other there, and this is to keep the child from touching my desktop. Eventually I plan on replacing this with something more wood-like, probably with maybe a 2-tier level. For the computer, this side is going to be where I do all of my like background video edits. This table, the flexi spot table, I would like to have put on casters or gliders or something so that I can push it back or move it forward, and it'll give me a little bit more versatility. I like where it is now because it means that there is potential for me to like spread out and do some yoga on the floor if I want to when I'm meditating, or if I want to move it forward, it'll allow me to work on bigger pieces and like get fully around the desk on either side. I have some more IKEA storage under there. Still a lot in boxes, printers in the corner. Pegboard never quite got on the wall today because I'm tired, but we do have the stud finder, so that will get taken care of when I come back to working on the room, which may be a day or 2. But I think I'm at a good stopping point for now. Still a lot in totes. A lot of this is prints and originals, and this whole box is painting supplies
and there's more art supplies in here, and then just like random things that I've been playing with, like making paint from rocks that are crushed or flower petals. And I'd like to get into some eco resin stuff, so a lot of room to grow, and like hopefully I can get some shelves up here for more storage so I can store some more supplies and some more art and get all of the art out of boxes so I can see how I want to move forward. Yeah, this is where we are so far. Who made this mess?
You!
Oh. Hello. Apparently, my video recording iPhone died. Bye,
I'm not here.
See you later. I don't know how much you guys missed. I didn't have time to check, and I'm not gonna go back. What I am gonna do is tell you that I have my stud finder, and I've been looking for studs on the wall. This appears to be the smallest stud that I've ever seen in my life. I put 2 marks on the wall here, and I'll show you again. Stud starts there, keeps going, stops about there. So this space is where the stud is. I don't know if you can see this purple line, but there's a purple line on the wall for where I want the top of the pegboard to be. So I'm just looking for the studs so that I can screw into the studs to give the pegboard extra support, so it doesn't fall down on top of my computer. Husband! Yes, please.
What do you need?
I need you to help me hold up the pegboard so that the holes align with this, so I can see where exactly the actual hole that I'm gonna drill.
Just tell me what to do.
I think we should probably move this table. It's probably gonna be easier to do not over the table.
Maybe.
So yeah, I'm not really sure what possessed me to think that I could record this segment in real time and that it'd just be like super fast. But it took like, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour, probably longer, to figure out how to get this board attached to the wall. And it was just like a lot of learning on the go. I have no idea what I was doing. I'm still couldn't really explain it to you perfectly, besides that I drew a line on the wall where I wanted the top to be and looked for the studs so that way I could make sure it was secure and didn't fall on me. That is as much as I can give you. You'll also see coming up that I realized at some point I needed more screws, so I had to run out and get those. But if there's a more efficient way to do this, I'm not aware of it. This is what we're looking like. Drywall anchor, spacers, screw. The other, well, it's all the same screw, but they're not quite long enough to reach into the wood with the spacers. So even though this is up there, we're gonna have to go to the store and get some longer screws that are the same thickness, maybe a little bit thicker, since we've already drilled the hole, and replace all the other screws with a longer screw so that they actually grab onto the wood. So to make sure that this doesn't fall off the wall in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and add 1 screw on the bottom in this corner and 1 on the top in that corner, in with drywall anchors, just to be extra secure. I don't want it to fall off the wall and break something. So as you can see, I did get it up there. I ended up using a total of 8 screws, which is probably overkill, but 4 of which are drilled into the studs behind the drywall, and 4 are using drywall anchors for support. I just wanted to be totally sure that this wasn't going to fall down on my head at some point. Okay, so this is where we've landed so far. I have an extension cord behind this cabinet that is leading to another extension cord, which is actually very unsafe. Don't do that. Another unsafe thing is, I have no idea how old this extension cord is. So it is there temporarily. I'm gonna plug a lamp into it to make sure that it's like receiving power. The computer is plugged into the wall, but this will essentially be the setup. I think if it fits, I'm gonna put the printer right there, or figure out some way to get it like semi next to the computer. And this will be essentially the workstation for video editing, making prints and thank you cards, and
if I need the big table space, I can move the table closer to this cabinet so that way I have like a long surface to work up against as well. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Pegboard's up, looks nice and sturdy. It's not wiggling around or anything. And yeah, now I feel like every time I do one thing, I have to re-clean the room just so I can figure out what actually needs to happen next. Okay, just got back from Home Depot, picked up a new extension cord so that way I don't cause an electrical fire, a screwdriver because we broke this one putting up the wall, it don't work no more, and some longer screws for the parts that are going into the studs. So I'm gonna redo that right now. I'll let you know how it goes. That's almost barely in there. Maybe if I hold it tight, probably should pull the screws out of this. So you can see the difference in length. Oh yeah, I can see the difference in length. These were like, oops, 1 1/4, and the longer ones are about 2 inches. So they're also a little bit thicker. Oops. Nice and tight. Let's keep going. How'd you get it so fast, baby?
Mahrya,
The little footprints.
going too far.
Going too fast. It's supposed to be a leisurely walk. Ah.
Alright, so this is the point at which I started to really dig into boxes and try and figure out how I want things organized. If you were hoping for like a really cute Instagrammable, like organize with me video, that's not what this is. Yeah, and I'm probably not going to give you like a super in-depth look at the drawers either when I get it all done. It's kind of mayhem in here. But I do eventually get things kind of squared away in a way that makes sense for me. Right now I'm just packing the sanding, and I call this like my abrasives drawer, where I have like my Dremel and all of my sanding pads and my sander. And these days can be a little bit of a double-edged sword because I get about 3 solid hours of organizing and unpacking before he comes home and Vince goes to work. And then
You need to poo? Go to the potty, baby. Well, I guess that's good timing.
oh yeah, it's just enough time for me to make a huge mess and then not clean it up until the next day when the boy's not around to find one of my many knives or glass containers.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but if you've got a toddler and you're packing for a move, like let them scribble all over, you know, whatever. And then you can turn those scribbles into packing paper. There you go. Recycling. Hey guys, I'm just popping in here to say that the in-between parts are really hard. I'm feeling very frustrated today because I keep getting interrupted, and I have not had a day to myself where I could have a continuous stream of thought. And every time I clean up, it gets messy again. And even though like I'm organizing a tiny bit at a time, gets worse before it gets better. And I just wanted to remind you that that's okay, and to give yourself grace, and it's okay to feel frustrated. Yeah. So, like I said, everything is kind of all over the place. I'm feeling a little discouraged because it's starting to feel like I'll never get it all put away and I will never get back to actually creating. But I know this is just an in-between stage, and try to be patient with myself. Yeah, that's where we are right now. Hello everyone, I'm back. Today is November 13th. We're almost a month into moving in, and yeah, this place is still a mess. I also really I keep finding things that I want to put up to like display, and it feels stupid to put pretty things up before I finish organizing, but I think that might just be how it has to go, because like I have a pretty good idea of where I want some of the decor items to go. So if it empties a box, then that clears the room, so I need to just do that maybe. And don't judge, because I am keenly aware of just how goblin mode I look in all of this video, but this is the reality. And I also wanted to show you some of the cool things that I've collected. That first piece I showed you was a makeup brush holder that I'll be using for paintbrushes. And I want to say I found it at a yard sale after we moved into this place. This next piece I bought at an art market in Chicago. I've had it for years. These next few little trinkets are all Goodwill finds that I've been using as painting palettes. This ceramic dish I actually found at the free little art gallery here in Phoenix. Before we moved, I did some tests with a new printer because I don't think I want to do it from home anymore. This is my current read, Tempest of Tea. It's written by a Pakistani woman, and it's a YA fantasy about vampires, a tea house, and a heist. I haven't gotten too far into it, but I think it's laying the groundwork, and I like it so far. It's been a good read. And I think this is about all I was able to do this day, from about 8 a.m. to noon, not counting breakfast and baby breaks. Okay, art lovers, I'm back. I still have a whole lot to clean up, but I don't know if I mentioned at some point, I got a project that I'm working on, so we're just hanging out. Today I'm going to continue cleaning and organizing, leaving kind of my main project on this table, and I'll just probably be pushing this back and forth as I go. Yeah, I've set Mahrya up in the living room painting. I wanted to pull out some of the things for this. I'm restoring this sign for my aunt as a Christmas gift from her husband. It's a sign from her mom's shop. Her mom passed away a little while ago, but he wanted me to restore this sign for her so she could hang it up and it be nice and pristine. So we're to the point of this project where I need to restore the flowers, and I'm gonna add some glaze. I'm gonna add some dark glaze to the lettering because it's burnt in, but a lot of it has been taken away because of the sanding that I did to reveal the wood grain better. So I'm going to add some darker glaze in the letters so that they show up a little bit more before I do the varnishing. I also tomorrow will be going to probably Michael's to see if I can find a wood slice about the same size and steal some of the bark to fill in the pieces that have fallen off of this before I seal everything up and send it back, hopefully before Christmas.
So, yes, as much as I really wanted to film the process of me restoring this plaque, I decided to just let myself focus on getting it done well and in time to ship before all the Christmas rush held up all the mail. Okay, so this part got a little bit rambly, so I decided to just voice over to get it to be a little bit more concise. What I was doing on this day was essentially trying to decide which of my collection of art pieces I wanted to archive and which ones I wanted to keep with me in the studio to help inspire my progress as I move into this next phase of creating art. And even though going through these bins was super nostalgic, I mean, I found artworks that I worked on back in college when I was doing solely fashion design. It was awesome to see it all and to go through it all and to lay my hands on those things. But I decided having you watch 20 minutes of me, him, and Ha about what's staying and what's going into archive was probably not the best use of time. So I'm gonna speed through it all again. I know this video is so much time lapse, but there's a lot that happens as I'm trying to put this space together. This might be hard to believe, but it wasn't until this moment that I finally started to feel like I was getting somewhere. On this day, I was picking up some lumber to make the shelves to use as display space in my office. These boards are 12 inches by 10 feet long. And this day must have been the day that everyone was buying their Christmas tree because there was not a soul in the lumber section. I had to go on a search just to find someone that cut this down to 5 feet for me. And then it was over to the stain section to find something to make these a chocolatey, beautiful color. Okay, friends, I'm back. What we're doing today is I pulled out everything that I had as far as prints and originals in totes. This sounds stupid, but I'm taking inventory to put them back into totes, to put them into the storage unit, so they're not just sitting around my office. And then I'll have an inventory list in my notebook here. And it's got me this really pretty notebook for like things that I need to keep straight. And then I will also put an inventory list on the tote itself, so that way when I'm looking for something, I know where it is and I don't have to dig through 6 different totes to find what I need. The stack is not terrible, honestly. So there's this stack here that's all originals, this stack in the middle that is all prints, and I even have some in frames, and I'm like debating on whether or not I should take some of the prints out of the frames. And then I have another stack of originals here. These are primarily the Afro Inktober pieces that I did a while back, and then this wood panel piece. I'm gonna go through everything, create an inventory list, and then that way I'll know where everything is when I'm ready to do events and like what I want to pull out and what I need to order more of. So that's what we're doing. Getting all of these things out of the studio that I knew I wouldn't be using for a while made a huge difference in the usability and comfort of this room. After that, we headed downtown to check out the Christmas parade.
Trying to get.
Get him!
Bubbles, get him!
The poor dinosaur! Wow! Oh my goodness! It's so amazing!
Alright, let's give it up for the Tempe Street Cleaners. Number 56, Tempe Street.
What I'm gonna do right now is put up the brackets for the shelves. Let's see if I can explain this process better than I did for the pegboard. I started by measuring the distance from the floor to where I thought I wanted my shelf to go. And I believe I did it for the ceiling as well. And then I had Vince help me find the center of the wall so I could measure out a line for the shelf and make sure that it was level. Then Omari was here and we hung out for a bit. Once I found out where I wanted my shelves to sit, I located the studs and drilled the holes for the brackets. These brackets are pretty wide because they're made to hold a lot of weight, so only 1/2 of the screws actually go into the stud behind the drywall, and then the other half are anchored into the drywall. After that, it was just a matter of placing the shelves and making sure they were level in the center and on the sides. And now a word from our sponsor, me. The sponsor is me. I cannot stress enough the importance of taking breaks during this process.
Oh my goodness.
Taking moments to appreciate all that you've done and give yourself a reward. Get outside, get in nature, smell some flowers. On this day, we went to the botanical gardens and just enjoyed sitting in the sun and hanging out with my family.
Doesn't have stage fright.
Another thing that was important for me specifically to remember was that I wasn't just setting up my office, I was also setting up and decorating my entire apartment. And although it didn't seem like a lot, I was working every day to orient all of these different spaces and create something that felt like home.
Hello. Okay, friends, today is December 13th, and I've got 10 days to finish this office because I want to have it done by Christmas. It's my Christmas gift to me, having this office done. So the last thing you saw me do was sand these shelves. Not those shelves, those aren't sanded yet, but I'm going to get to them. But before I do that, I'm kind of getting, I don't know if you can see it or if you have seen it on the videos. There's this space in between my flexi spot desk and this, oh no, you can't actually see it. Well, this table here that I keep having to like shimmy, 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 shimmy through all the time. Shimmy, 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 shimmy back and forth, shimmy back and forth. And it's super annoying. So, don't mind me. I had my mushroom coffee, so there's a lot of energy coursing through me right now. So because I don't want to have to keep shimmying, and I'm not quite ready to give up on this easel top desk, even though I'm honestly not sure if I'm going to use it as much for anything besides this big piece. What I have decided to do is move around the whole office. So I think I'm going to take this easel top desk and put it on this side, take my computer desk and put it on that side. And in doing that, it should give me, I think, a little bit more room in this doorway, so that way I don't have to constantly shimmy past. And I do plan on getting wheels for the flexi spot desk so I can move it around a little bit easier. But for the most part, this is where it's going to live. And then after that, we're going to stain these shelves. Yeah.
One thing I'd like to mention to anyone who's maybe doing this for the first time is this whole thing is fluid. I'm pretty sure this is not going to be the last time that I reorganize all of this furniture or do improvements and change this room. It's all very fluid and it's going to keep growing.
Okay, so this is what we end up with. It probably doesn't seem like a huge difference, but I can tell you that this corner here gets almost no light. So having the computer in this corner makes a lot more sense for me because I don't need the light in that corner. The computer has its own light, obviously. And then having the painting desk in general over here, I think it'll get more light. There will be some shadows to contend with, but I can make it work.
better on this side. Yes, what's up?
I need to glue this.
You need to glue it. Did the glue come off?
And the glue don't work.
The glue don't work. Well, the glue doesn't work when you take it off. What happens is you have to leave it on there. 1 second. What was I saying? This is why people think I have ADHD, by the way, because I can never remember what I was talking about and I pick up somewhere else than where I left off.
Is this denial or just the after effects of becoming a mom? Not really sure. What I do know is that the little side quest that I had earlier on really helped me get an idea of how I wanted to use the space and how I would actually move in the space, and that's kind of what prompted this choice of switching the desks. Overall, I was really enjoying how the space was coming out, and I was even able to style the shelves a bit. I know they're not stained or anything yet, but it really helped me moving forward.
Look, we've got the color yellow. Put the crayon to paper.
Okay, then
Use a napkin. Clean your hand off the napkin. Nope, not in the water, on the napkin.
The color yellow.
Hello friends. Okay, so got a little bit of a late start today because I did not want to get out of bed, but what we're doing is staining all the shelves. I still haven't sanded my actual shelves, but we're going to sand the shelves for the dining room, and I still haven't made up my mind about whether I want this other set of shelves to be the tabletop for my desk or for them to be the corresponding shelves. I'm thinking that the placement that I had in mind for them, they probably don't need to be as thick as they are, so I might get thinner shelves and just use them as a tabletop, but I'm not sure. For now, we're just going to sand them and see how it goes. Or not sand them, stain them and see how it goes. I have never stained wood before. I have painted wood with acrylic ink and acrylic like washes. I've never used oil on wood before, so we shall see. I'm hoping these risers are enough to hold it up off the table so that I don't make an oily mess on my table. And it's just closer to me. But also, I kind of would like to be able to do both at the same time. Like 2 at a time. But it says to sand these down to 220 grit so that they're like super smooth. I didn't do that. I think I did the 80 grit and saw how long it was taking. I was like, okay, that's enough. So these aren't like perfectly sanded smooth. I don't think they really need to be because for the most part they're just gonna be shelves. But yeah. For now, what we're gonna do is stain these shelves. Test a small area before getting started. Where is my... I cleaned and recleaned and reorganized so many times that I like feel like I'm not sure where anything is anymore. Oh my god, did I just break that? That's crazy. Of course. Let's try some actual metal. It's unfortunate. So just going to try to be careful.
Okay, I gotta jump in here and say, wear your PPE, because I literally almost gave myself an asthma attack trying to stain these boards. Put your mask on, girl. What you doing?
Can you see that color? It looks very pretty, chocolatey brown. We like deeper wood tones in our house, which is why we're going through this at all. I assume that's fine. I don't know. We're gonna keep going. Don't come to me for staining tips. I don't know, man. I don't know what I'm doing here. We're just going, and hopefully it turns out good.
Stippling this because the edge is slightly more rough than the top because it's edge grain. You're supposed to stay with the grain when you finally get on the top there. So we're just gonna, feels like the grain wants me to go this way. So that's what we're gonna do. And then you put it on and you let it sit and you're supposed to wipe it off. I don't know if I'm supposed to be using one of these sponges for wiping it off and one for applying it. That's really pretty. Yeah. That's what I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna apply it with the corner and then back, I forget what the correct term is. Again, don't ask me. I don't really know what I'm doing. And then back drag it so that way I'm like picking up what I just put down. Well, continuing. Wow, I love this color so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, I should probably do this edge at the same time. I think I have seen something about the longer you leave this on and let it sit, the darker it becomes. Where am I gonna put you? Just right here. Oh my god, if I spill stain on the floor. Don't spill the stain on the floor. You know why? Because I didn't put anything down to protect the floor. Which is stupid. One or two good swipes of full length should make sure that everything's nice and even. And judging by how this is going, if you just have to feel it. As this is dragging this way, I'm feeling resistance, and as I'm dragging this way, I'm not feeling resistance. So I feel like this is the way that the wood grain wants to go. Chill out, chair. This chair's always trying to kill me because I never want to use it. It just sits there and I'm standing all damn day. Speaking of which, standing all day, bad for your back, bro. Take a break, she says to herself. She says to her almost 40 self like she's 20 something and can just stand around all day long. See? Doesn't want to be brushed in that direction. something under here, something that was not sanded off. Just gonna go ahead and pull it off. More of that came off than I was expecting. Which is probably why they tell you to sand to 220 grit. Again, following directions. I mean, I usually am pretty good at following directions, but right now we're just living off of vibes. Scoot her over. Excuse me, darling. I need for you to move just a little bit, so I can get to this edge. Generally, I don't like working with oil because of the smell and how long it takes for it to like dry. Just in general, in regards to like art and stuff. But this is not bad. It definitely has a smell, and I definitely should have opened the window before I started. Considering I am sensitive to smells and my lungs don't like anything. But this isn't so terrible. And I will open the window when I start on the second one. That looks nice. Oh my god, I love it. I think I saw something on this that said wait a couple hours to recoat or to like balance out patchy spots, but I don't really want it to be super even. I want it to just be natural as staining your wood a completely different color can be. Excuse me. Also, I hope you can hear me because I did not plug in the mic. Oh my god, I love how this looks. Okay, I'm gonna let it dry and then flip it over. In the meantime, I'm gonna start. In the meantime, I'm going to put the top on this and open a window, which means I'm going to have to jump into time lapse because how many times do you need to see me do this? Probably none. I have 4 of these boards to do, top and bottom, sides and edges, and then we're just gonna let them sit and dry. And yeah, watch along if you feel like it, or skip to the next part. I don't care. Do whatever you want. See?
Oh my god. The fact that I kept going without putting on a mask at this point, even though I was so uncomfortable and my throat was scratchy, like I was breathing hay, is just utterly ridiculous. Please wear your mask when you're applying stain. Please open a window before you begin applying stain. But all that to say, I really loved the way these turned out. There it is. There's your mask. You had it the whole time, girl. Sheesh. My husband came in and smelled the room and also brought me a fan. So yeah. But after that, my boards were sufficiently dipped in chocolate and looking gorgeous. I was able to let them sit for a couple hours. I think I may have let them sit for the rest of the day, and then I took them outside and sealed them with a spray varnish.
Okay friends, so I've added a couple coats of the clear polyurethane to these boards. I think they still need at least one more. And then I'm going to replace the ones that are up here, these ones. So for now, while I'm waiting for, it says to give it 20 minutes to dry in between coats. I just touched it and it seems dry to me, but I'm gonna give it the 20 minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna take these shelves down and I'm trying to just get a good picture of what they look like so that I can put it back up the way that I want.
And we're getting so close to the reveal now, I can taste it. But I just go ahead and unpack the shelves and take the shelves off of the brackets. Then I decided to make the last coat a Liquitex varnish instead of the polyacrylic to give me that really nice shine. I put the shelves up and actually screw the shelves into the brackets to make them nice and secure. And then I put back my little trinkets and books and decor and museum paste. Museum paste is like this clear gel that you can put on pieces that are a little bit wobbly, like my two statues on either end of that first shelf. They're a little wobbly, so the museum paste makes sure that, like, if my son is jumping on the couch in the other room and knocks the wall, they don't tip over on the shelf in this room. In this next clip, my sweet boy will be demonstrating the air purifier, which I got as an early Christmas gift after my husband had to make an emergency run to CVS for a inhaler after I spent all day staining wood.
It looks like it flowed out of air.
It's blowing out some air. Yeah, that's my air purifier.
It's blown out of air.
Stop moving stuff around, please.
Blow and blow the balloon out.
You're such a goose.
And blow the balloon
Want
out
some shrinking
of
rice?
air.
Yum. Yes,
You
please.
just throw this in hot water.
And blow in air.
It blowed in the air. Now I gotta find a spot that's not blowing air so I can light my candle.
Look, it's blowing air. It's blowing air. Look, it's blowing air. Whoa, it's blowing air. I got blow air. I got blow air.
Is he hovering? Whoa! Wow!
And it goes down the bottom and go up at the top.
It goes down to the bottom and comes back up top. That is kind of cool.
The air and blow the balloon up. Yeah,
Yeah.
float.
And this is the result. I gotta say, I love how these shelves turned out.
Well, hello, friends. Ow. Fancy meeting you here. Today is January 5th. I have cleaned this room so many times and then started projects halfway through cleaning and then started cleaning again and then starting another project. And I don't know if this place is ever actually going to be clean enough for a reveal, but I'm going to try one more time to clean this room and give you a final look. If not, this is it. This is it. This is probably what this room is going to look like 95% of the time. Mostly clean. No, mostly disorganized with, you know, stuff everywhere and mid-project and mid-situation. Every time, all the time. So if you want a realistic view of what a studio will probably look like, this is what it looks like clean. I'm going to actually clean it and then we'll try and give you a look around a slightly cleaner space. You know what? I'm going to do a magical spin around real quick and we'll just clean this up lickety split. Okay? Ready? Let's just spin.
Okay, here we are. Finally clean, probably for the first and last
Lickety
time.
split. Okay? Ready? Let's just spin.
Yeah, buddy. Okay, so here's the rundown. Left side wall nearest the door is my painting station. This wall showcases mostly other people's art with a few of my own pieces sprinkled in here and there. On the pegboard, I'm hoping to keep a mood board of whatever project I'm working on at the time, as well as a few supplies that I use on a regular basis. Funnily enough, I'm still on the fence about whether or not the easel top desk is going to stick around, but I guess we'll see. The set of drawers on the left side is miscellaneous tools, abrasives, adhesives, and some labels. The set of drawers on the right is all of my paints, including watercolor, ink, gouache, acrylic, some sealants, and even some spray paints. Starting with the back wall on the bottom, I've got some mixed media papers that I like to paint on, as well as some journals and some works by other artists. The shelves are primarily my art, including some figurines, books, and just media that I really enjoy. There's some Avatar The Last Airbender up there. You'll also see a little bit of Steven Universe, some Pokemon, and you probably saw in the little picture before, I even had some Kodamas sitting up in the shelves. This wall to the right is all my own work, with the exception of a few stickers and knickknacks on my desk. Next to the computer, my iPad and printer. Behind my iPad is the cup where I keep my mic, which I may never use again after hearing how it sounds in this video. The drawers below on the left, I have the top drawers are set for kind of the current project receipts, timesheets, any tools that I might need specifically for whatever current project I'm working on. Then there is some clay, some candle making things, and some cords and electronics in the bottom. On the right side drawers, I have some miscellaneous office tools, some printer paper, some spare palettes for painting, the eco resin kits that I would like to start experimenting with as well. Also on this wall is where I have my little nook where I do a lot of reading and journaling. It's also where my beautiful sun catcher lives, and I'm even growing a few little plants here. This other little nook to the right of the window is where my self-care altar lives. I didn't record a lot of the setting up of this space because I just wanted it to be very intentional and purposeful. But I will give you a close-up of what's inside. There's a lot of books and media that I enjoy. Most of my crystals are in here. I've also got some wood panel storage in the corner, but it's mostly like my perfume and nail polish and just things that make me happy. I have my self-care journals and some books that I'm reading. I've got some denim jackets in the other corner that I would like to keep painting. But yeah, this is how it all turned out, and I'm really happy with the results. I hope you enjoyed watching the setting up of all of this. It was a labor of love. Oh, I forgot about the pieces that are kind of snuck behind this door here. But yeah, again, just artwork from different artists that I've run into at cons, some of my artwork over top. Overall, I'm just really proud of this space. Every time I pass by the door and see the twinkling lights inside, it just reminds me to take a breath and have gratitude for every opportunity that I have to create something new. As always, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you're a champ. I know this one was particularly long, and I will do my best to get back to you guys very soon. Cross your fingers, next month there will be another video. Bye!
That way. But I don't think it needs that much strength. Get out of the camera, you silly baby. So, yeah. Okay, okay.